On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, we learn what's been haunting the supernatural stage for 11 seasons. It's a white nightgown.
And someone should really ponder the ethical implications of a soul bomb. Let's do this. Welcome to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana.
And I'm Liz.
And we're going to talk about Season 11, Episode 23, the season finale. Alpha and Omega.
Yep, it's the be-all and end-all. The first, but it's not. It's not the last. It's just the
season.
Last of Season 11. Yeah, so we are heading into season finale, and we are also kind of double taping some things around here. So it hasn't been that long since Diana and I talked to each other. But you know, in podcast land, it's been a whole week since we've been away. But as typically goes with season finale time too, we're going to take a week off in between. So expect that little delay in between, but we'll be back after that. So this is our season finale episode, which of course will end with our season 11 trivia, where I will attempt to once again stump Diana and make her. I don't want to make you cry. So just make you think. I want to make you think about Jared Padalecki.
Okay, that's fine. I can do that.
All right. And so also in that spirit, hopefully I will have gotten on a plane and gotten on a ship and hung out and saw all sorts of supernatural fans and cast members and had a really good time. That is what we're all fingers crossed and hoping is about to happen.
Correct.
Adventure time. Adventure.
Yay. Woohoo. That'll be fun. Well, Liz, do you want to tell us about this episode?
So this is, as we said, Alpha and Omega, which is a reference to a line from Revelation. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Also, it's the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet. So take that what you will. This was directed by Phil Sgriccia, and this season he did episode 2, Form and Void, episode 13, Love Hurts, and episode 18, Hell's Angel. It was written by Andrew Dabb, and he did Form and Void with Phil, and then he also did The Devil in the Details. Then he did Beyond the Mat with John Bring, and Red Meat with Robert Behrens. So, tried and true people coming in for the season finale as per usual. And so we start off with Chuck God being down. He's just down.
Yeah, it is not a good look. Chuck God is unconscious. Cassifer is unconscious. And Dean runs over to Cass, and it is no longer Cassifer. We have just Cassiel now. Lucifer is gone, and Cass informs Dean that Amara ripped him out. So we do not know where Lucifer is at this point. And Sam goes to check on Chuck and is asking, how do you feel? And he's like, when a bug gets smashed on a windshield, that's pretty much how I feel. By the way, I am dying. Amara was right. No one can fix this. Not me. Maybe Amara, but that's about it. So, God is dying. That's wild.
It's the thing that happens.
Yeah.
On Supernatural.
And Amara Rowena strolls in from outside, and then Crowley shows up, and they're both like, and Crowley's just talking shit.
Hey, don't skip it. Don't skip it. So Rowena walks in and Dean pulls a gun on her, and then Rowena says, so that was a gun in your pocket. And that's hilarious.
It is good.
I do love a gun dick joke.
They are good.
Okay, yes. And so Crowley is there. Crowley's alive. Woohoo.
And he's talking shit. And Rowena's like, by the way, have any of you like looked outside? We need to go look outside. So they go out into the parking lot where we see the big blast spot where they all attacked Amara out there. And then she points to the sun, and the light's kind of weird. Like it's not bright enough. It's kind of like when like the sun's kind of blocked, like an eclipse vibes is what it looks like, I guess. And it is because apparently the sun is dying. That sounds bad.
Bye, evil Daystar.
Well, why would that be a problem? Because the sun is the source of all life.
What? Poppycosh.
And Chuck snaps his fingers and brings all of them to the bunker. And then he falls out because he has a little bit of power, but not a lot. And Dean's like, let's drink beer about this.
That is his solution. Sam can't believe Dean is drinking. Have you met your brother? Also, then Dean gets to have a really great line, and he says, look, man, if you've got something for me to punch, shoot, or kill, let me know and I'll do it. I'll do it till I die. But how are we supposed to fix the frickin' sun? Which I think is just brilliant, because seriously, how do you fix the frickin' sun? And Sam can't answer that either. And so we're going to go from that to Fancy Pants' house in London.
Mm-hmm. Where a woman gets helped out of her, I believe it's a Rolls, I didn't look it up, but out of the Rolls by a driver. And she is greeted by a woman inside of her house as, anyways, and she says, no, my name's Tony.
Yeah, I mean, she is clearly of the aristocracy, and the woman is addressing her by her title, and she doesn't want it, but she kind of halfway does like it. I can sense that about her because she seems like a bitch. And I'm just saying that because she is very well put together, and I just can't stand it. Like, she's walking around in neutral colored heels. Who the fuck does that? Like, they're not dirty. And she's walking around in heels. Fuck her. Anyway, so yeah, I'll call you milady. And that other woman probably takes like a lot of delight every time she calls her milady. And she's like, you hate this, lady.
That's hilarious.
That's right.
Well, Milady Tony is going to go have her tea that's been fixed for her and watch the news.
And the TV is in a weird fucking place. It's like we got like this fancy house and we got to figure out where to put this fucking TV. So we're just going to shove it on this buffet in between some like historical figurines. It's very bizarre.
I feel like that happens though sometimes if someone has like a really like era accurate like historical house, and then you gotta like, where do you put the television? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's got that, and she's they're discussing the sun has had a 6% drop in light or whatever. Sun is 6% less. That's what I got. But this doctor's like, but there's nothing to worry about. There certainly happens. The sun fluctuates. It's okay. And she is not convinced. And then her phone rings, which leads her to go to a doorway, a hidden door where there is a Men of Letters symbol carved into it. She pushes it and the door opens and goes down these stairs. And so she is somehow tied to the Men of Letters, and there's this office, and she is clearly someone on the phone is telling her that she's got some shit she's got to go do, and she's kind of questioning it and if this is the right thing to do and all that. And then we pan over and we see on the wall not a murder board, but a murder board of Sam and Dean Winchester. It's a murder board.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, we'll call it a murder board.
Also this woman
a murder
looks
board
pissed.
of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she is not happy with whatever she's being told to do on the phone. Not thrilled. And so we've got maps and mug shots, and she very shortly informs the person on the end of the phone that she's on her way. Does that mean she's going after Sam and Dean? Oh my gosh. Is she a man of letters? Oh my gosh. All the questions. Back at the bunker, Dean's low on beer and wants to go on a run because he doesn't want to die sober.
He's already had a 6-pack. I mean, I know you're Dean Winchester, but you shouldn't drink a 6-pack and then go get more beer. Like, maybe have God deliver you some, because I feel like God's purpose at least is like an Uber Eats.
Well, he's also got Rowena there and Cass. I mean, somebody can boop him some beer, right?
You would think.
Beer boops? I don't know.
Beer boobs. But the same thing happens like
what the fuck?
With Crowley and the whiskey, right? Like, just bring in some whiskey that you like.
Yeah. It's an odd limitation on this here. So we see that Rowena is just cooing over Chuck and calls him Charles and is going to make him tea to help him feel better. And when she goes to do that, Crowley is like, hey, by the way, she's just using you. She just wants to she wants to serve someone with power. And so she cozies up and then digs her claws in. And Chuck's like, I don't have any power now. It seems like she's being nice, and now's all we got. So
I don't really care. Let your mom be nice to me. It's fine.
Let her be nice. Yeah.
And we go to London where... Go ahead.
I think Crowley's just like digging through all the liquor, which once again, it's like, why? I mean, when he could just bring whatever liquor he wanted, but whatever.
Yeah, so then we go to London where Lady Fancy Pants has put on a sensible travel outfit and then tells the woman who works for her that it's easier if she doesn't wake her son up to leave, which I think is some bullshit. You're just completely, I know you're flying to another country and You're not going to tell your son goodbye. What the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? Sorry, honestly, I don't like her. And I think all of this is very British. And then it's very cold, and then the lady who works for her adds a gun to her bag just in case mumbo jumbo doesn't work, which means so you don't go through customs, right? You just bring guns into the States like that. That's cool. I mean, I guess you can. I mean, but I'm sure there are ways to do it, but I don't feel like she's going to be filling out any forms with when it's just thrown in a bag that way.
I don't think she's filling out any forms. It's not declaring it. That's for sure.
I don't think she's declaring what's in that bag. And I just feel like it's not fair.
Right? Rude.
Maybe I'm just mad because I'm all just concerned about travel and she gets to go on a PJ. Although I heard all the PJs are rounded because they couldn't get aircraft. Anyways, so we go from there to the bunker.
Yeah, and Rowena and Chuck are bonding over having children. It's kind of a goofy little thing, and Crowley is just fucking
well, we learned that Fergus had a wee little banger that he liked to run around in the village with because he didn't like wearing pants, and so that makes him just start pounding all the terrible whiskey. And Sam comes in and I don't get Sam in this episode at all. I don't understand why he's a cheerleader, why he's just he bitches everybody out for doing nothing.
Yeah, but I get it too. It's sometimes, if there's a crisis, you gotta have somebody who can't leave it be. You know what I mean? They have to try to do something, and that's what Sam is in this role. You gotta have somebody trying to rally everybody together. And while he doesn't have a good idea, they got to try something, anything. And Chuck's just even if we lock Amara away, it wouldn't do any good because I'm dying. And that would fuck up the cosmic balance. So the world would end. because so now this is kind of where we start like piecing together that, and things they've alluded to before. If you have to have the light in the dark. This is from the last episode. You can't kill Amara, and now we can't have God die either because he's the light. So how do you fix that? Sam's solution is that they have to kill Amara because Chuck is dying. So you time it right, and then things will be okay. And then just both of them are dead. So that's the new proposal. I don't know if it's a plan yet.
Sure.
We'll call it a proposal. Well, Dean and Cass are on a beer run, and Dean shares that he thinks that Castiel was right to have let Lucifer in, and that even though him and Sam weren't willing to do it, that Castiel did the right thing, and that Castiel helps a lot. While Sam and Dean are often off in their own little world, which I thought was a fun little like, oh, that's nice that they pointed that out. Because I think as viewers, we watched that, we're like, wait, what happened to your friends? Like, why are you not talking to the people or looking for them? But as Castiel says, you live very exciting lives. And but then we get a very sweet moment. And I feel like this is a special, important moment with Dean and Cass, where Dean shares that you're always there. You're the best friend we've ever had. You're our brother. And Castiel is appreciative of this. And then Sam calls and they do a U-turn. Because there's a plan. And Sam's going to share the plan at the bunker on how to kill Amara because Chuck is dying. So now they'll both be gone and this is the plan. So they ask Chuck how to destroy Amara, and he kind of like hesitates because he's like, look, she might have weaknesses, but obviously I don't wish this upon her. Finally, he comes about that he's like, her biggest weakness is light. So they're discussing how much light they need, and they're like, 10,000 suns set to supernova. And Dean's like, how about God? Can you help? And Chuck's like, I'm too weak for that. And Sam's like, Rowena, what about your Book of the Damned? And she's like, there's nothing that big in there. And Sam asks Crowley, and he's like, I got nothing. And that, but Castiel's like, wait a minute, what about all the souls from all your deals? Those are like energy batteries each one is powerful as 100 suns. And so they kind of come around that if they could get enough souls gathered, she could make a soul bomb. And
what the fuck?
What the fuck is a soul bomb, and what is happening to these souls?
No, like, what are you doing to these souls? Like, if in this canon of the world that these souls are beings, right? They're human. Like, typically they may be demon souls, and maybe some other type of things, but so you're just going to sacrifice all these fucking souls, and nobody says anything
nobody
about
question.
It. They're just... Nope.
They're like, just like, okay.
Nobody,
yeah.
And I think it should become more obvious because then Dean's like, what about ghosts? They're just souls with baggage. And I think that should emphasize this. You're saying, it's
this is a weird.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I think they're missing some ethics here. I think there's a big thing that they just ignored. Maybe this is the annoying Q&A I bring up on the panel. Like when I do a question for
the soul bomb.
Remember?
I mean, that's a good one.
Hey guys, remember in season 11 when you built the souls, you did the bombs? Did that bother anybody?
I mean, the soul bomb or the aftercare for all the people they leave behind. I mean, I feel like those are two good ones, no matter what. But they're never. The soul bomb seems like definitely ethically questionable.
I feel like this is a fail. I feel like this is a moral fail for all of you.
Correct.
Unless you're just saying the souls are like, I don't know, like you would have to like. I got to hear like. Anyways, go on.
They don't explain what happens to the souls. They're using them for their power, but is the soul like depleted? Is it dead? Is it gone? Does it disappear? Like what happens after the bomb? They never say. Yeah, they blow up. That's bad.
I would assume it's not good for them.
That's my assumption as well. Very concerning that no one's concerned.
Yes.
So they're going to go to a sanitarium where thousands of people died to collect souls.
Yes, and we're going to do a where in the world is... Okay, well, we're not there yet. Okay, so when we get there, we'll look to where they are. But...
Okay. We first get... And while they're doing that, Crowley's going to go try to raid hell for souls too. But Amara is in a garden. We don't know where this garden is, but it's a lovely garden with like a water feature and some stone walls. And she sees some of the dead flowers and looks sad about it. And she's touching the live flowers and she looks very sad and looks at the sun. The dying sun.
She seems very, very sad.
Then we go to the Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
So, where in the world are Sam and Dean Winchester? So, Waverly Hills is real. It's in Louisville, Kentucky. It opened as a sanatorium for tuberculosis patients in 1910. So, always remember the difference between a sanatorium and a sanitarium. Sanitariums are for people with mental illnesses. Sanatoriums are for people with TB, right? And... Right. That was in 1910. It was originally just a 2-story kind of facility. And then they're like, no, we need to make this bigger. So they replaced it with a 5-story building in 1926. And eventually, though, drugs would make TB a thing of the past. And Waverly Hills would close in 1961. And it goes through a couple of lives, first as a nursing home. And then it was bought to be a prison, but that fell through. Then it was bought to build a giant Christ the Redeemer statue on it, but that also fell through. Finally, Tina and Charlie Mattingly purchased it in 2001. And by that point, its reputation as being a haunted place had really just kind of taken off, mainly just because it was a place that fell into decay and just was really haunted. So the Mattingleys run tours and haunted house attractions. The historical tours for November are all booked, but you can book off-season paranormal investigations there. They do require a minimum of 25 people or the equivalent in payment to do a tour, but you can also see it on Ghost Adventures, and probably like 75% of ghost hunting shows on the Travel Channel has been to Waverly Hills at some point. But yeah, wow. So that's where they are.
All right.
Which I'm sure Diana would love to go to one day, but it is supposed to be really scary.
Hard pass, but neat. So Sam and Dean are there, and as they are entering, Dean does a terrible Rowena impression. But we have learned that she has given them something to absorb the souls with.
Yes, they have a wee crystal that's going to suck up all the blinding ghosts.
Mm-hmm. And so we can tell it's haunted. They go into this larger room and they set up. Basically, they're trying to lure and trap all the ghosts into one room. Is the long and short of it. Of course, they get attacked in the meantime because duh. But they're going to go piss off the ghosts, and they set up this room with salt barrier and everything. And Dean sets up himself to do a trick shot with some salt over the door, where in a way that it'll drop down when he shoots it just right to trap the ghost in. He's very proud of himself. So he's doing that. He gets the stone, and as they're getting a bunch of ghosts in there, zapping in and out, and they're swinging iron and shooting salt and blowing up ghosts to try to not get killed by all these angry ghosts. And Sam is getting choked out, of course. Dean gets the crystal, throws it into the air. When it's in midair, he yells the magic word, and it absorbs all the ghosts.
The magic word is haggis.
Mm-hmm. And it absorbs all the ghosts, which is weird. Delicious. Do you?
Yeah. Oh, haggis is good. Haggis. Yeah, go to Scotland. Get it fried. It's good. Especially when you're drunk.
I'd try it fried. There you go.
Yep.
And
you
so
wouldn't even know you're eating it. You get it in a fried box with a bunch of other fried things. Then you wouldn't even know what part was the haggis, I bet. Anyhow.
Probably.
So all the ghosties go in the wee crystal.
Yes, and it's very pink, which is very cute. And then they go to leave, and we realize that Billy is there watching them leave. Ooh. That's our Reaper. So, back at the bunker, Cass is informing Dean that the angels will not help, even though it's the end. They know God is dying, so they have sealed off heaven, and they are going to die with dignity. They're going down with the ship.
You assholes.
Yeah. And Crowley had a bunch of souls, but apparently his stash has been raided by his demons, so he has none either. And so that sucks. But we hear someone entering the bunker, and they're all on edge. And who is it? It's Billy. She followed them there. And she's like, I saw y'all at Waverly, with credits about to roll. Why are you boys busting ghosts? Which is a fair question. Like, the world's going to end. Dean just wants to drink beer. Why the fuck are y'all out there, like, doing a hunt? It doesn't really make sense. So Sam just tells her, he's like, we're collecting souls to build a bomb to blow the darkness away. Ta-da!
Do you think Dean sobered up before they went and started shooting all these ghosts? Is he still like half drunk?
Oh, I bet he has a buzz. I bet he has a baseline buzz through this whole thing.
Probably.
I don't know about drunk, but definitely baseline buzz maintaining. And so Billy's like, okay, I'm like an hour away from reaping God. You need souls. Why didn't you call a reaper? This is kind of what I do. So, we cut back to the garden where we see an older woman feeding birds, and they're by birds, I mean pigeons. And
pigeons are birds.
I mean, I know, but they're like, that's a very specific type of bird. She's just feeding the pigeons. Okay. It's not like she's feeding like fucking owls. You know what I mean? I just want to be specific. And Amara's there.
Well, I don't think we'd be very, like, we would point it out. Nothing, if she was feeding owls, I think it would be like, oh my God, the bitch is feeding owls.
That's fair. Just,
Now I wish she was feeding owls. Damn it. Fucking pigeons. Lame. Anyways.
Amara, is there, and the woman compliments Amara's dress and offers for her to feed the pigeons with her. And she explains that she's been feeding these birds for 20 years, and they're practically like family, which sounds crazy, but with her husband dead and a kid trying to slip, flyers for a retirement community to her, that's just kind of something she does. And Amara's like, do you hate him for that? And she's like, sometimes, but with family, even when you hate them, you still love them.
Aww.
Amara looks sad. Amara looks very sad.
She does. And because she's thinking about loving her family. And we go from there to the bunker, and the crystal has been pumped up.
Yeah, Billy's holding it, and there's souls just flying in everywhere. And apparently now we have a couple 100,000 because she raided the veil, which is not helping anything here as far as the ethos goes and the ethics of the soul raiding. I don't know. This is icky.
Like, what if Kevin was still in the veil, right? Like, we just happened to get him out just recently, but he could have been in there. Yeah. So someone like Kevin Tran is in the soul bomb that you just made.
Mm-hmm. So she's like,
someone think of the souls.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. So, Chuck's like, I can track Amara now because she's not warded. So that's good news, but we need to get the bomb ready. And then Dean will have to use his personal connection to get close to her. And Dean's like, well, how do we smuggle the bomb?
It's a twat crystal.
That was one of my thoughts. I was like, because Crowley does suggest the prison pocket, not in those words, but that's basically what he suggests. But Rowena's like, you don't carry the bomb, you be the bomb. and explains that she'll put it inside Dean's chest. And when he gets close to Amara, he just taps his forefinger and his thumb together and boom. Sounds very dangerous. Wouldn't you accidentally tap your fingers if you were
I would have blown them up right there. I would like this and then
I'm like, I do stuff with my hands all the time. What would I do?
Within seconds, this would have been.
Oops.
Hey, I just touched them right now.
I know.
For no reason.
I know.
So now we have touching your face. It's impossible.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. So now we have a surprise suicide. So do we have a surprise suicide soul bomb? Is that what this is?
I guess so. Yep.
I don't know. So she says an incantation and shoots this light from this crystal into Dean with like very little conversation occurs here. It's just like, by the way, you're the bomb. Boom, boom, boom. We're doing this. And so,
yeah, he consented to that very quickly. There was no
questions.
like, by the way,
no
you're
discussion.
dying.
No discussion, no questions. Just like, yes. And that's it. And not even a yes, just like, yeah, this is happening. So, once he gets the souls shoved into his chest, they ask how he feels, and he says he feels like his insides were flame broiled. And she's like, oh, by the way, you also only have 1 hour because this is basically a time bomb too. What?
Also, it's maybe tell me that before you put the bomb inside me. Like, what if I had something to do?
I don't know. This is very bad communication about a very big thing. So, we briefly see Tony at the airport, and her driver is taking her to Kansas.
Yep. Doesn't go through customs. She just gets off the plane, gets in a fucking car.
Yeah, it must be nice, bitch. So
hey,
the bunker, they're not at the bunker. We are now at Mary Winchester's grave. Yeah.
Yep.
And we see that in a second. I'm jumping a little bit, but we're at Mary Winchester's grave, and Sam tells Dean that you don't have to do this, and of course he does though, and he's gonna do it. That's all there is to it. We see Cass, Crowley, Chuck, and Rowena all standing by the car waiting while Sam and Dean have this moment. And this Sam and Dean have their moment, and Dean walks off while Sam kisses his hand and touches the headstone. And back at the car, Chuck tells Dean, like, I'm not cool with this because Amara is my family. I really don't want her dead, but I understand. Which is kind of interesting. It comes back to like things that tough decisions he had to make that other people were upset about before. A little full circle. And Castiel gives him a hug and offers to go with him, which Dean declines. I thought was interesting. I'm like, oh, he could have probably brought Cass if he wanted to. But he wants Cass to look out for Sam and thanks him for everything. And then he tells, as Sam walks up, he explains the epic funeral that he must have. Open bar, a choir, a Black Sabbath cover band, and Gary Busey reading the eulogy and then spread his ashes there. It's quite a spectacle that he has planned for himself. And then he of course, sweetly gives the keys to baby to Sam, but doesn't want anybody to get emotional. He's like, no chick flick moments.
Flick moments. But you love chick flicks, and so they hug it out.
Yes, they hug it out. Let's do this. So we get a snap, and Dean is now in the garden. While Sam, Cass, Crowley, Chuck, and Rowena, that's a list now, they go to the Lazy Shag bar.
I would definitely stop at the Lazy Shag. There's no way, like, I would, like, slam car brakes, like, put things in reverse and be like, we're getting a drink here.
Yeah, for real. It's hilarious. So a guy, and they see while they're pulling in, a guy's walking by with a sign that says, the end is nigh. And Crowley's just like, not wrong. And the bar's closed, but they open it for them. like not the bar owners. Like Crowley opens it for himself. So
yeah, which seems kind of rude, but okay.
I know, right? Like y'all, it might not be in the world.
Someone's inventory real bad.
It's just rude.
You're making someone's Saturday like it sucks.
Yeah, for real. So at the garden, Amara's there and asks how Dean found her. And, they walk towards each other and and he's just like, you know what? I can't watch the world and all my friends and family die. So I'm going to go with you. I'm going to give you what you want. Just take me away from all of this. And she's like, and that bomb in your chest, because she's like super powerful.
Oh, yeah. And he's got 100,000 souls in his chest. So she's clearly going to see that, right? And then she explains that the sun actually isn't her. It's just because God's dying. And so when he dies, universe ceases to exist. Even Amara, which I think seems like a kink in their plan.
It does seem like a kink in the plan. It seems like important information that no one discussed. And I'm like, what? And then so she goes and sits at the fountain, all sad. Back at the bar, they're watching the news, and the news is telling people, don't panic and stay inside. As Chuck looks worse and worse. It is not good times for Chuck. So Amara is upset that she has continuously been betrayed, and that that Dean's been sent to execute her at this point after she had been locked away for so long. And Dean's like, no, your brother didn't send me to execute you. He actually zapped me here, but he didn't want this at all. So he says family doesn't want this at all. So at the bar, we've got Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying playing by George and the Pacemakers, and gold star on Song Choice for that. While Sam is checking on Chuck, who is seriously declining. But at the garden, Dean is talking to Amara. He's like, is this what you wanted? And she's like, no, I just wanted to hurt him and make him pay. He's like, oh, I knew that. You wanted revenge. So by the way, that sounds great. It gets you motivated. It feels good for about 5 minutes, but that's all it is. And with family, you need each other. You're all you've got. And you have, you always have to make it right. And he's like, I know that you're all powerful, but I think you're human where it counts. Ew. So he's like, maybe I can, maybe I can't kill you. Maybe there's a different way to do this, though. And what do you want, Amara? What do you want? Sam goes to get Chuck some water as they're begging him to hang on. And when he turns back around, Chuck is gone. Because Chuck is now in the fucking garden with Dean and Amara, which is important. And everybody's a little freaked out. Like, they're all a little on edge. And Amara launches in. She's like, we were family in the beginning. I loved you. And, I know he's like, I did. And I do love you too. And she's like, well, I hated what you made. And that I hated that you needed something more than me in the universe. And then you locked me away. And that's her perspective of what happened, because she didn't need creation. And she's like, all that time when I was locked up, all I could think about was making you suffer. And I thought revenge would make me happy, but I was wrong, because what you made was beautiful. And it took time for me to see it. I know, we can't go back, but I wish we could be family. And they hold hands.
And God is healed, and the sun turns up. And then at the shag, everybody runs outside, and they all look directly at the sun.
They do, without sunglasses. But then you're all excited, and then you realize they all think it's success because they think that Chuck is dead, and Chuck and Dean and Amara are all dead. That's their assumption here. Whew.
Oops.
Yeah. So Amara fully heals Chuck, and then they inform Dean that they're going to go away for a little while for a long family meeting.
Sure. It looks kind of weird. Like I don't kind of like how they're going off together. It doesn't look very brother and sisterly. It just doesn't.
It does not. It does not. And Chuck's like, oh, wait, hold on. Let me get that bomb out of your chest first. Luckily. I'm glad they remembered that. And Dean's like, but what about like us on Earth? You know, what is that? What happens? And Chuck's like, it'll be fine. It's got you and Sam. They're good. Earth is fine. And so then Amara very mysteriously says, you gave me what I needed most. I want you to do the same for you. And then Amara and Chuck do a weird combined swirly poof smoke out together.
Yeah, light and darkness blend together into a thing swirly that I saw once on allegedly when somebody did hallucinogen drugs. But okay. So
no, Dean is in this garden that he doesn't know where it is. I would just like to, and they just left him there.
They just left him there. Right. But Cass, we go back to the bunker where Cass is like, so yeah, you're right. Dean has been left in the park, but he's not. He's getting taken somewhere else.
Right.
So, but we're not going to know that for a moment. We're going to go to the bunker because that's where Cass and Sam are coming home or walking in, and there's blood dripping. And we're like, why is there blood dripping?
Yeah. And it's because this Tony chick from the Men of Letters is standing there with a cut on her hand because she does the angel blast sigil to get Cass out. And she like introduces herself, and she knows that Sam hasn't heard of her because the London chapter of the Men of Letters are traditional and they keep to their studies. Ugh. And she is sent to take him in.
Yeah, and they've been watching all the damage that they've caused, and all the old men are over his shit, and he's just a jumped up hunter playing with things he doesn't understand because they're super British. And so, and she's just like, so where's Dean? And he's like, he's dead. And we're like, oh, okay. And then she's like, I'm just going to keep walking to you because I am a giant fucking man and you are a tiny woman with a tiny gun.
And you are not going to shoot me.
And then she shoots him.
She does shoot him. So then we see Dean in the woods. So he's no longer in the park. Now he's coming out of some woods trying to find cell signal. And we hear a woman say, help me. And Dean sees it's nighttime, and standing in a clearing is a woman in a nightie.
Fucking white nightgown.
I know, right?
The fucking white nightgown has returned.
It has.
That's what haunts this fucking show, is that goddamn nightgown.
And it's Mary Winchester standing there. Mom?
And that's where she's saying, help me. She is like, get me out of this fucking nightgown. I'm so tired of wearing it. Did you bury me in this, assholes? You couldn't put me in a dress, motherfuckers? You buried me in this goddamn nightgown? Oh my god. So that's how season 11 ends. And yeah, before, I guess we'll get some final thoughts on that. We'll get some, you want to do cast and then trivia? Okay, so we'll do that.
Were they on that show that time with that guy? La 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 la.
So, all right, we've got a few folks on this one to talk about. Lady Tony Bevel was played by Elizabeth Blackmore. She's been in episodes of Beauty and the Beast, Once Upon a Time. And she also was Natalie in the 2013 film Evil Dead. And, of course, Valerie in Vampire Diaries for about 16 episodes. So her driver when she arrived in the U.S. was played by Ronald Patrick Thompson. He's been in episodes of Fringe, Smallville, Arrow, Flash, iZombie, Frequency, Siren, and Magicians, and has done a lot of Hallmark. He's done a lot of credits at Hallmark. It's good. And then our old lady at the park was played by Barbara Wallace. She's been in episodes of Flash, Van Helsing, Fargo, Travelers, Deadly Class, Snowpiercer, Blockbuster. Interestingly, her career, there's not a lot of younger credits. They're all a little bit later in life because she spent most of her time as a stage actress. But she was also a taster in the film Okja, and most notably was Rose Blossom in Riverdale for over 50 episodes.
Things that make Diana happy.
Yeah. I love Riverdale.
Yep.
But yeah.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for that. And now that you've stalled long enough, it's time to do trivia.
It is.
All right. Season 11 trivia starts now with your first question. The first episode of the season was named Out of the Darkness into the Fire, which is after a song by what Canadian band? Was it A, Rush, B, Moxie, C, Bare Naked Ladies, or D, Bachman Turner Overdrive?
I'm going to go A, Rush.
No, it is a band called Moxie, and they're very strange.
Okay.
Number 2, we learned this season that once Amara gets in you, you were biblically unclean. How does Sam become biblically clean again? Is it by praying really hard, dancing, flogging himself, or burning himself with holy oil?
Burning himself with holy oil.
That is correct. So unnecessary. Question number 3. What is the name of the coven Rowena tries to raise in season 11? No multiple choice.
Mega.
The Mega Coven! That is correct.
Yes.
Question number 4. In episode 5, this was titled Thin Lizzy, which disappointingly was not about the ghost of Phil Lynott haunting a house, but about a not-so-haunted bed and breakfast. Of which famous murderess?
Lizzie Borden.
That is correct. They could have corrected some of her lore, but we did. All right. So now we're moving on to question number 5, and this is about episode 11, Into the Mystic, in which we meet Mildred Baker, who had what job before she retired?
Oh, I don't remember.
She went out walking after midnight a lot.
Oh yeah, she was in a band, and then they toured, and she was in a cover country band.
Patsy Cline cover band. You're almost there.
I remember which one?
Sort of some credit.
I was cycling through the Wynette, the Wynettes to the Patsies, you know.
All right, question number 6. Also in that episode, what sign does Jared use instead of thank you?
Is it fuck you? Or is it, no?
It is fuck you.
Okay, yeah. Yay.
So risque. Question number 7. In episode 14, I will not tell you the title as it will ruin this question. Dean and Lucifer try to boop into something, but it's warded against Lucifer. What is it? Or what was it? Was it a submarine?
It's a submarine.
Yeah.
It's the submarine. I knew that.
Question number 8. In episode 17, Red Meat, which is not one of the ways Billy tells Dean she thought he'd die? A heart attack? Some fang? Autoerotic asphyxiation? Choking on a burger while binge watching Charles in Charge?
She didn't think it would be the fang, right? She said the others? Or is that the one she said?
She did not say autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, she did not say that.
Did not say that.
Yeah,
I think they joked about saying it, but she did not. No.
We didn't go there.
Go past some censors.
No, I know. I just feel like that would be so fitting if we didn't have the censors. So
yeah.
All right.
All right. Question number 9. What is the name of the bar that Chuck zaps Metatron to? Is it A, CB's Tonk, B, BG's Canteen, C, CB's Cantina, or D, BG's Bar?
It's BG's, so it's one of the last 3, and I think it's Canteen, but I'm not sure.
That is correct. It is BG's Canteen.
Boom.
All right. The final question, number 10. List everything that was on Lady Tony's murder board. No. Okay.
No.
Fine.
I can do some of it.
Tell me which of these weren't on it then. All right.
Okay.
Sam and Dean's FBI wanted posters from 2011.
They were on it.
A photo of Castiel as Steve.
That was on it.
Yep. Cassiel scrawled on a Post-it note.
Maybe that was on.
Yeah,
there.
it was. All right. Copies of police investigation into credit card fraud by Dean.
Yes, I saw that.
List of Sam's fears, including clowns.
I did not see that.
That was not on there. And finally, a printed out screen grab of Sam's Stanford University email account.
I did not see that.
But it was on there.
That's hilarious.
That is so bizarre. Yeah.
It is. So that's our season.
And that's how season 11 ends. So Amara and Chuck hold hands and kumbaya their fucking shit. And
yeah,
what? I'm sorry.
That part doesn't shock me. That doesn't shock me. I kind of saw that coming as a potential possibility because once they eliminated all the other ways for this to go, when the only other options are God and the darkness die, or Dean Winchester dies with them. The only other option is for there to be like peace found between them, and they keep making this. They've kind of laid this out all along that like they were siblings and they were close, and then they weren't close, and yada yada. So I feel like it's a lot.
As far as television goes, though, like season finale, we hug it out. Oh, come on! At least give me something blowing up, right? So
Fair.
I mean, it's like that, and then so we've got that, and then we currently are getting, and our season 12 is getting set up by, we've met Lady Tony now. We don't know what's going on with her, and fucking Mary Winchester is back.
Yeah. So that was a little bit like that one blew my mind. I won't lie, because they've done a couple little like Mary teasers recently. Like they showed her photo in the chest, and then we were at the gravestone, and that's just not that we haven't always kind of acknowledged Mary, but like she was not that prominent until these last couple episodes. So it was kind of an interesting buildup. But yeah, as a viewer, there's so many times that we do like flashbacks to people and like we have visits from people. So it didn't really like knowing that she's still so big in the fandom. I didn't really do it like shock me in any way. So it was really wild for me to be like, what? They actually like, she's like back? That's wild. Fully wild.
Yep. What are we going to do? All right. So wild, I guess. And that seems like a good point to end this. All right. Cheers, jerk.
Cheers, bitch.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Be a Dick production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios podcast network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.